Good morning and happy Wednesday to you all. I hope that you are awake and that you are refreshed today. So, prior to hitting the start and go live button, I was thinking, am I really ready to go live this morning? Because I had a few thoughts on my mind, and so instead of calling this live vlog flow, I decided to call it You Never Know. And so I just want to share a couple of thoughts that I have today that were prompted by things that happened yesterday and from early morning reflection. And so I thought about how important words are, and how whenever we go through things in life, it is very important that we don't speak prematurely, that we don't speak things that may not need to be sent out into the atmosphere. But then also, when you are confident about a thing, or when God has laid something on your heart, that you will speak it, because we know that we want His will to be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so this morning during my quiet time, I was reminded of some things that I said about my own life, and the Lord reminded me that now is the time for those words to manifest, for those words to become true in your life. And I said, okay. And so I just became thankful that I did not respond to some situations negatively, or I did not allow my emotions to overtake me and have me speaking some things that may not have benefited my life. And so to that, I want to encourage you, if you are a person and you're going through something in life, put a pause on your lips and pause and think about your feelings and think about what it is that you want to say, because we don't want to respond out of negativity. We always want to be able to have a right perspective, a positive view on the things that are happening in our lives. Okay? So yesterday, I was in the grocery store with my children, and my daughter was wearing a shirt, and the shirt says, "Girls Never Quit." And just to make the playing field even, guys never quit either. Okay, because I know I have some guys watching. But anyway, there was an older lady who I later found out was 87 years old. She came up to my daughter and I, and she said, "Girls never quit." And I was surprised, and I'm going to say that I was surprised because the font on the shirt was kind of wild. And really, when I saw the shirt for the very first time, I was like, what does this shirt say? But anyway, this lady from afar saw that her shirt said "Girls Never Quit." And so she came over and she began to talk to us about her life and all of her adventures and all of her travels and a lot of her life experiences. And we began to talk about purpose. And so she began to say that it is so important as you live life that you are living in your purpose. And I could, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, God, I know this is you. So this 87-year-old lady, she begins to tell me all of these stories. And one of the stories that she told me was that at one point in her life, someone had her committed to a psychiatric ward. And so the person who did that thought that she had some issues, but she knew, and she was very much aware that she had no business in this place. And so she began to tell me about the process of getting herself out of there. And so she began to tell me about the people in her life who she knew what they did, and she knew that they knew her. And so while she was in this place, she was able to call for help. And these people who knew her came to assist her. Now, I want to say this to you all. Prayerfully, that will never happen to you. But it is important to know those that labor among you. It is very important to know who is on your team. It is very important for you to be true and transparent, because I believe at some point in life, somebody is going to have to come and help us and speak on our behalf, right? And so her story, it really, really touched my heart. And so what she did, she came out of that situation and she wrote a book about it. She wrote a book about what was happening on the inside of those facilities that she was in, right? And so sometimes in life, we have a perspective of some things that other people may not ever get to experience, but God will provide a platform for us to share that information so that somebody else can be healed, somebody else can be helped, somebody else will be in a position where they may foresee something happening, but because they have knowledge, they can prevent it from happening to them. And so a lot of times I hear people say, how can you tell me about something when you have not even been through it? And I believe that some of the best teachers, some of the wisest counsel comes from those who have experienced what they are talking about. And so I've talked before about having a lack of confidence and a lack of self-esteem, and using those situations not as like a crutch or something to cripple me, but to look back at that experience in life and help someone else. Because there are a lot of people who are going through a lot of things and they're trying to like heal themselves, but they may not be doing it correctly, right? And a lot of times people try to heal themselves through superficial means. They want to appear as if they are okay. But God has given me a charge to help people to deal with what's going on internally so that you can be well externally. Because you can look good on the outside, but if your heart is not right, if your heart is broken and you're trying to function, or if your mind is waylaid or overlaid or overwhelmed with a whole bunch of stuff, it's going to hinder your progress. If we are supposed to be moving and accomplishing our goals, but we are sedentary, we're sitting and we're not doing anything, we're not going to be able to accomplish our goals. And so sometimes we need to ask the question, what is hindering me? And really, really deal with that thing that is hindering you. And I'm going to tell you that sometimes people will come along and they will distract you because they may not understand the calling that is upon your life. They may not understand the charge that you have over your life, but you have to be the constant in that situation. You have to be the person who is determined and the person who is focused. Okay, so if nobody else is going to go along with what you're doing, you still have to be okay with pulling yourself up and going forth and accomplishing your goals, and be ever so sensitive to the things that come into your life to hinder you. Okay, and so yesterday I wrote a post about opening your mouth and speaking and asking for what you want. So it's not good enough for you just to have the idea or feel like, oh, I want to do this thing, but you're going to have to open your mouth and say, this is what I need in order to accomplish my goals. So many times we shrink back, we become fearful, we become intimidated. We're so busy comparing ourselves to other people that we become immobile. And we have to get beyond that. You have a purpose in this life, and it is time for you to embrace that purpose for your life. Don't look at anybody else. And sometimes we're looking for affirmation and confirmation from other people, but the confirmation and the affirmation is in that passion that is on the inside of you, burning ablaze. And so it's time to release that thing. Yes, I said yesterday that thing is a pronoun. I don't have a specific word for you, but you know what it is that you are supposed to do. And so it's time for you to do it. Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't think that the way that you're going to go may be the same way that, or the way that you're going to go is the way that X, Y, and Z or so-and-so went. Because your pathway may be totally different. You may be on the path to cut a path. And even as a pioneer, you cannot be afraid to use your tools, to use your determination, to use your zeal, your love, and your passion, and your awareness and knowledge to cut a new pathway. Yes, some things may be in your way, but if you come packing with what you need, you're going to be able to cut those obstacles down. You're going to be able to overcome the barriers that present themselves before you. And it's all about shifting your mindset. And so yesterday I was talking about my favorite magazine and how they have selected 100 people with business mindsets to accomplish these sometimes great feats. But even as I continue to read the things that these people have done in life, some of it is very simple. It's a matter of stepping out on faith and overcoming the fear that would try to cripple you and hold you back. And so I ask you today, who are you and what are you here to do? What value do you add to this world? And how much longer are you going to sit back and before you do anything? And so it's time to get up now. It's time for you to get up now. And so I pray that even as I share these words with you today, that it causes you to press the gas upon your life. And so this other thing that I wanted to tell you is that, okay, so now I have recorded, I don't even know how many videos, but it's a lot, okay? But what I find a lot of times is the ones that I am not feeling like very strongly about are the ones that get the most attention. And so those, I don't even know why I struggle with that. And so, but everyone that I think is not good, or I should just go ahead and delete it, that's the one that people tell me bless them the most. Some people, they will respond here. Some people inbox me. Some people text message me, and I don't mind that. But I struggle sometimes with coming on, and then sometimes I struggle because I don't know if I'm giving you enough, because sometimes I'm feeling very passionate about what I'm saying, but I want to be nice and, you know, calm. But I'm telling you, it is time. It's time for even me to embrace and be okay with even the hard things that I may have to come on and share. And so Facebook is just one platform. You know, God has given me other ways to get the word out. Of course, I minister. You know, I talk one-to-one to people. I mentor and I coach people. And, but sometimes I'm like, okay, do I need to, you know, start roaring on them? But I believe that, you know, God has given me a grace to just say it. And so even as you say, oh, well, Tanika is on, let me hit the button, or however it is that you see me, you hit the button. And because you said yes, because you open yourself up, I believe that these words that are being generated from this positive God ordained place, that they are being fed over into your spirit, and they're going to ignite you, they're going to enliven you, they're going to cause you to act. And so please know that I'm not going to take this platform for granted. I'm not coming on here to impress anybody, but I'm just coming to share out of my heart what I hear the Lord saying to his people. And so I bless God for each of you just coming on listening, because you can listen to a whole bunch of people. Okay, and so I'm not even that funny. I'm not that funny, y'all. Okay, I admit it, I know. But I do have a genuine passion and concern for people, and I love people. So anyway, I continue this conversation with this lady, and she begins to tell me about her children and raising them, and traveling the world with her children. And each of them, they have these jobs that really, I need to find a dictionary so that I can even find out what these people do. But they are doing these wonderful works. Two of them were in philanthropy, but they are doing things to make a difference in the world. And so what that says to me is that we are stronger than we know. We are more capable than we sometimes believe, you know, but we have to choose, you know, to do some things that may seem scary to us, some things that you may not feel like you are equipped to. But in this earth, if there is something that you want to learn in this earth, there are resources for you to learn it. And so I talk a lot about, and sometimes I share things about my children, but I bless God for my kids. I bless God for their zeal towards life. I bless God for their openness, you know, to learn, and to their willingness to try some new things, because I be taking them all kind of places. And I remember one day, right, let me tell you, this is so funny. I had taken my two youngest kids out to this lake. They actually wanted to go somewhere else, but we went out to this lake, and we had a really, really, really nice time taking photos and just talking and just enjoying nature and playing with people's dogs and everything. And so when it was was time to go, I was tired by this point, and I'm the driver because they can't drive. They don't have driver's license. And I was like, okay, we're going to go and grab some lunch. And they asked me if we were still going to go to this other place. And I said, we just had a good time out here. They said, you wanted to come here. We didn't want to come here, but they had such a wonderful time, right? But my point for saying that is, my children, they won't hesitate to say what they want to do, right? But anyway, I try to do things that are good for them. But anyway, whatever their interests are, I try to do things to feed that interest. I try to make available to them resources that are going to enhance their awareness and their knowledge of whatever they are interested in. And so God does the same. And so when I say that, I want you to think about what you're passionate about, what excites you, what do you want to do? And so when you say, yes, I'm really interested in this, God is willing to increase your knowledge base about that. He's able to unlock you so that your potential can flow, so that you will become aware of your purpose, so that your passion will flow. And sometimes our passion, it flows so much that when we are around other people, they become ignited. And so that's what my events are about, because I have people around me who are passionate and excited about what they're doing in this life, and they're willing to share their excitement about what they're doing. And so as a result, it's like other people, they're coming and they catch fire. They become excited. They become more aware of themselves to the glory of God. And I bless God for that, because nobody wants to, live this life and be sitting around people who are not excited or people who are not motivated. I mean, really, for real, that's like sitting in a dark room. And I just don't want to do that. I want to be a light in this world. I want to be a light to my friends because they are a light to me, And so the more you embrace truth of who you are, the lighter you become. Not only lighter, like a light, but lighter, because lighter emotionally and physically and spiritually, you become light, because you get to a point where you're like, I'm not going to have this thing in my life weighing me down. It's just like me adopting the minimalist mindset, and I'm still progressing forward because I got to be consistent in order to fully embrace that. And I have to be willing to let go of some things. And so once you fully adapt to this lifestyle, or you adopt this mentality for your life, you're going to be light. And so even as we're living this life, why do we want to go and pick up these hard things or own these hard things like unforgiveness and stress, and then having negative feelings and thoughts towards people? Those things only weigh you down. And so for those people who exercise, I'm sure that you can attest to, once you're out there on the track, or once you're in the gym working, or you're swimming or whatever, it's like you get light, because it's like you're so focused on what you're doing that everything that really doesn't matter, it falls away from you. And so we want to get light for the flight. And I talk about the eagle all the time. And the eagle is a very powerful bird. And when he's soaring through the air, he may first be carrying himself, but then he's going to go get his food. He is only going to grab just what he needs. He might go get his food, and then he might be going to get the things to build his nest, because he needs his nest to be a certain way in order for him to reproduce. And so in order for you to reproduce, you got to make sure that you're only getting what you need to do that. When you're hungry and you need something, that you're not just going and picking up anything, but you're going to pick up that which is substantive to your life, which is going to enhance you and not add extra weight to you. And I mean, even in our emotions, we don't want to be weighed down emotionally. And we have to get to the point where we let some stuff go. When we allow God to say, God, close the door. I've asked God to close the door, like when I was younger, right? I remember the situation. I was like, God, if you close this door, I won't go back. And then I promise you, like the next day, that door of that situation was closed. And I was like, God, I was just playing. But he made me be okay with that door closed, even though I said that to him, but I was really not really sure. I kind of knew that I needed that door closed, but he knew for a fact that that door needed to be closed. But then the door closed, and I was like, oh no, close the door. But he closed it. but it was for my good because that situation was not working out for me. And so we have to be okay with closing the door. If it's wintertime, right, and you're in your house and you walk past the door and you feel cold air coming through there, you are going to get that door sealed, right? You don't want to be feeling no draft. When God says close the door or cut this thing off, you just need to cut it off. Okay, because if you're trying to be comfortable or okay with your situation or move forward or be in a position where you're thinking, you don't want all this outside interference because you want your atmosphere to be set for you to produce. Okay, and so be okay, because some doors or some situations in our life, they just need to close. Point blank. And you just need to be okay with it, and you just need to admit that. Okay, so I had this other thought, and I know I'm talking a lot, I'm getting ready to go. I had this other thought. I want to encourage you to be sensitive to who is touching you, like who's attaching themselves to you. What is that person's purpose? Are they feeding you? Are they nurturing you? Are they supporting you? Are they helping you? Or are they draining you? Have they ciphered up like this spiritual hose to you or this emotional hose to you or whatever? Are they draining your energy? Now is the time. It's fall and dead things fall away in this season. And so even in the spiritual, it's the same thing. Some dead things are going to fall away. Don't be trying to keep them alive because it's time for it to go. God is doing a new thing in our lives. And I want to know if you want it, or do you want to hold on to the dead thing? It's eventually going to crumble anyway, just like a leaf when it falls from that tree branch. It hits the ground, and next thing you know, you walking, and all you hear is crunch, 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 crunch. It's going to die, and it's going to decompose, and it's going to go right back into the earth. It's going to do something. But anyway, you know that purpose. I didn't do real good in science class at first. But anyway, if I research it a little bit, I can break it down to you. But anyway, things are going to fall away, and you are going to have to be okay because it's a new season, and God is doing some new things. And I want to know if you want to walk into your new season, if you want to embrace that. That's what I want to know. Okay, so I'm going to go on that, but I pray that something that I said blessed you. I can see the comments coming, and I will respond to those after the fact, but I have something else to, I'll end, and then I will come back and I'll look at the comments. But if you feel like this vlog is going to bless somebody, by all means, please share it with those that you love and those people that you feel, would benefit from it. And I'm not trying to get any glory from that. It's just the words, because I believe that words are powerful. And how many times have you had conversations with people and they just ignited something in you? And so I pray that this vlog does that for you, that it ignites you. I'm not trying to get any credit or anything, but I just want you to be well. Okay, because that's how my heart works. So I'm going to go. I will respond to comments. I'm going to take my son out. I'll respond to comments just as soon as I get into a safe place. Okay, so no texting and driving. No texting and driving. Okay, so y'all know that I love you. I pray that you have a fantastic day. It's almost Friday. Let's celebrate. Okay, so the weekend is coming. All right, so I'm going to go, and I will talk with you later. Know that I love you in the name of Jesus. Bye, y'all.